Hi everyone, and welcome to Music Theory with Lorna Katz. This is the second video in a series of educational music theory classes as being taught during our virtual rehearsals with the San Diego chorus of Sweet Adelines International. Today we're going to continue with the basics, and specifically we're going to go with note values and also the rest values in music. Let's take a look. You may recall last week we talked about the basics, which is the music staff, the names of the notes on the lines and on the spaces. Today we're going to talk about notes and rest values. It's all about the rhythm. In music, each note has a value measured in beats. And a beat, what it is, it's actually the downbeat. For example, the clapping of my hand. Each clap is a beat. So let's go over the values of the notes. A whole note has a total of 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. The half note has 2 beats. 1, 2. The quarter note has 1 beat. 1. So for example, let's go with whole note and let's break it down. That means in the whole note, there are 4 quarter beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the time that is spent in whole note, there are 2 half notes. So this is the beats. 1, 3. It is counted on 1 and 3 only because the half note counts as 2 beats. For the 8th note, it is a half of a beat. So if these were the beats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, that's how you would count 8th notes. For 16th notes, it is a quarter of a beat. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And the reason why I say E and a, because there are 4 16th notes to a beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the way we can keep track of it is easily said. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Each rest mark has a value of the same equivalence as their note counterpart. So the whole rest would be a count of 4. So you would not sing or perform anything on those 4 beats. The half rest is like the half note. You would not perform anything for 2 beats within this particular measure. The quarter rest is 1 beat. The 8th rest is half of a beat. And the 16th rest equals a quarter of a beat. You see here there are notes and rests from the longest to the shortest. The longest being the whole notes or the whole rest, all the way down to the 16th note and the 16th rests. Now we're going to go over something a little bit special that actually affects both notes and rests. And these are dotted values. For example, there are other note values such as dotted notes, which are also often used in barbershop and also standard music, in music in general. Dotted notes are notes that have a dot written immediately to the right of the note it affects. A dot adds half the value of the preceding note. For example, this dotted half note no longer has a count of 2 beats. 1, 2, which is a dot, which would be a standard half note. For a dotted half note, it would count as 3 beats because it is telling us that it is now adding half the value of the note that is being represented. So instead of 2 beats, it is now 3. 1, 2, 3. Same with this dotted quarter rest. It has a value of 1.5 beats. In measure 2 of the song below is a dotted quarter note. The value of this note is 1.5 beats. Remember, a dot represents half the value of the preceding note. You see it over here represented by this arrow. It's the music that brings us. It's on us. So that counts as 1.5 beat. Back to barbershop singing, or in general, even in choral singing. If you notice that there are notes with stems facing up and stems facing down. For our type of music in barbershop, on the treble clef staff, the tenors would be singing the notes with the stems facing up. The leads would be singing the notes with the stems facing down. In the bass clef, the baritones would be reading these notes with the stems facing up, whereas the basses would be singing these notes with the stems facing down. The following is a fun chart to practice the note values and their rhythms. Speak the words for each food name. Note that each syllable has a natural rhythm. Notes that are connected together with a bar count as 1 beat. So we're going to go one line at a time. Each of these lines represents a line of music. If this particular song only had 2 beats in a measure, it literally would count as this: 1, 2, 1, 2. So the first one, hot dog, actually lands on 2 downbeats. Hot dog. Grape soda has 2 eighth notes in the word soda. So it counts as 1 beat, but it's divided into 2 eighth notes. So if it was 1, 2, grape soda, the da does not land on a beat, but it's on what's considered an offbeat. Now on the third measure of this particular line for apple pie, 1, 2, apple pie, 1 and 2. Now for hot fudge sundae, you will note that each count actually has 2 eighth notes. Hot fudge sundae, 1 and 2 and. Now we come to a little bit more trickier part of this music, or actually this line. Coconut shrimp, 1 E and 2, 1 E and 2, coconut shrimp. Okay, so let's go with the second line here. Now this is one of my favorite treats, Rice Krispie treat. If you were to count this in numbers, it will be 1 and a 2, 1 and a 2, Rice Krispie treat, Rice Krispie treat. The Anna is on the offbeat of 1. Now, if you were to go to second measure of this particular line of music, for chocolate strawberry, chocolate strawberry, 1 and 2 Anna, 1 and 2 Anna, chocolate strawberry. Cinnamon oatmeal, 1 E and 2 and, cinnamon oatmeal. Milk and cereal, milk and cereal. Avocado toast, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2. Avocado toast, avocado toast. Let's go to this last line of foods here. So with cheese ravioli be 1, 2 E and a 1, 2 E and a cheese, ravioli, cheese, ravioli, cheese, ravioli. Strawberry ice cream. It'll be 1, 2, 1 and a 2 and, 1 and a 2 and. Strawberry ice cream, strawberry ice cream. If you were to do chips and guacamole, this is how it would go. 1 and 2 and chips and guacamole, chips and guacamole. For this next food group here, we now have 4 beats. It's changed. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Tater tot casserole. Tater tot casserole. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. That's the rhythm. Now we go back to 2 beats here. So it would be 1 E and a 2 N, 1 E and a 2 N, 1 E and a 2 N. Pepperoni pizza, pepperoni pizza. Whenever you have a chance, go ahead and practice these food groups. For example, let's go to the first line. You would then go across and just count the 2 beats. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hot dog, grape soda, apple pie, hot fudge sundae, coconut shrimp. Sometimes it'll be easier if you do with a metronome, usually found on your phone. But if you do it just by clapping your hands, make sure that the rhythms are even. On the last page is time signatures and counting, number 1. We will be going over time signatures in our next lesson. But if you have any time to spend on rhythms, take a look at this because this will help you in the next lesson. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Just to recap, we went over the notes and rests and their various values in music. We also learned about dotted notes and dotted rests. We had a fun time learning about rhythm using names of food, and if you click in the description box to this video, there is a PDF handout that you can go ahead and download. On the last page, there is a practice sheet so you can practice your rhythms. Also, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel and want to learn more about music theory, please click subscribe and you'll be notified for our next lesson, which will be time signatures. So long for now.